There are moments in life when destiny feels close enough to touch. Moments when the heart grows quiet, and the soul begins to listen to something deeper than ordinary thoughts. In such a moment, Sheikh Hamdan bin Muhammad al-Maktoum, known to many as Fazza, finds himself standing between dreams and reality, imagining a promise that feels larger than life itself. Love, for him, has never been a simple word. It is not something spoken lightly or offered without meaning. Love is a journey, a responsibility, and a sacred connection between two hearts that choose each other again and again. And somewhere within his quiet reflections, a beautiful dream begins to form. In his mind, he sees a place far away from the noise of the world. A land where mountains touch the sky, where snow falls gently like whispered prayers from heaven, and where the air itself feels calm and pure. Switzerland. For Fazza, this place is more than just a destination. It is a symbol of beginning. A place where love could breathe freely and where two hearts could start writing the first pages of their forever story. He imagines arriving there in the quiet of early morning, when the world is still wrapped in silence. The mountains rise proudly in the distance, their peaks glowing softly beneath the golden light of sunrise. They stand tall and strong, like silent guardians watching over the promise of love. The air is fresh and gentle. Each breath feels pure, as if nature itself is welcoming them with open arms. In that moment, he imagines turning toward the woman who walks beside him. The woman whose presence makes even the most beautiful landscapes seem secondary. Her smile carries warmth stronger than sunlight, and her eyes reflect a peace that no mountain or lake could ever replace. For Fazza, love has always been something quiet yet powerful. It does not shout for attention. It grows slowly, deeply, like a river that flows endlessly beneath the surface of life. He imagines the first morning of their honeymoon beginning softly. The golden sunlight spreads across the mountains like a blessing. Snow sparkles gently on the ground, and the sky above is perfectly clear. Together they stand near the window of a small wooden chalet, watching the world wake up around them. There is no rush. No pressure. Only calm. Only peace. And only the silent understanding that this moment belongs completely to them. Sometimes love does not need words. Sometimes a single glance says everything the heart has been waiting to express. As the day begins, they step outside into the quiet beauty of the Swiss mountains. Their footsteps press softly into the snow, leaving delicate marks behind them. Each step feels symbolic. Not just a walk, but the beginning of a journey together. The mountains stand tall around them, powerful yet peaceful. They seem to watch quietly, as if respecting the sacred bond growing between two people who have chosen each other. The fresh mountain air carries a feeling of purity that is difficult to describe. It feels as if every breath cleans the soul and reminds the heart of what truly matters. Love. Trust. Togetherness. Fazza imagines traveling through the valleys on one of Switzerland's famous trains. The journey is calm and gentle. The train moves slowly between snowy landscapes, frozen lakes, and villages that look as if they belong in a fairy tale. He sits beside her, holding her hand quietly. Outside the window, the world moves like a living painting. Mountains pass slowly. Forests stretch endlessly. Snow-covered villages appear and disappear like small stories waiting to be told. But for him, the real beauty is not outside. It is the woman sitting beside him. Her laughter fills the quiet train cabin like soft music. Even the mountains seem to echo her voice, returning it gently as if nature itself is celebrating their happiness. For Fazza, these small moments carry more meaning than grand gestures. A shared smile. A quiet conversation. A gentle touch of hands. These are the moments that build the foundation of true love. Later in the day, they walk together through peaceful snowy paths. The ground beneath their feet sparkles softly under the sunlight. Every step leaves footprints behind. And even though the snow may one day cover those marks, the memories created in those moments will remain forever in their hearts. Love, he believes, is not measured by time. It is measured by meaning. A single moment filled with genuine emotion can last longer in memory than years of ordinary life. As evening slowly approaches, the sky changes colors above the mountains. Shades of gold and pink spread across the horizon while the sun quietly disappears behind the snowy peaks. Night begins to fall gently. The stars appear one by one, filling the sky with a quiet brilliance. Standing beneath that endless sky, Fazza imagines turning toward her once again. And in that moment, he tells her something simple yet deeply true. You are the light my heart searched for many years. The cold air around them does not feel cold. Because love creates warmth stronger than winter itself. Holding her hand, he realizes something beautiful. Paradise is not a distant place. It is not hidden somewhere far away. Paradise exists wherever two hearts truly belong together. Later that night, they sit beside a quiet window in their chalet. Outside, snow continues to fall softly from the sky. Inside, candlelight fills the room with warmth. They share cups of hot chocolate while watching the snowflakes dance quietly in the darkness. Sometimes they speak. Sometimes they simply sit in silence. But even the silence feels meaningful. Because true love does not always need conversation. Sometimes a gentle smile, a caring glance, or the quiet presence of someone you trust completely is enough. In those peaceful moments, Fazza understands something important. Life may be full of responsibilities, expectations, and challenges. But love has the power to make everything feel balanced again. No matter how powerful a person may appear in the world, the human heart still longs for the same simple things. Understanding. Trust. And a place where it feels safe to rest. And in that quiet Swiss night, surrounded by snow and stars, Fazza believes he has found that place. Not in the mountains. Not in the beauty of the landscape. But in the heart of the woman sitting beside him. Because true love is not about where you go. It is about who walks beside you on the journey. And their journey has only just begun. As the quiet Swiss night slowly fades and the first light of dawn touches the horizon, a new morning begins to awaken the mountains. The world is still calm, almost as if nature itself is taking a deep breath before the day begins. Soft golden sunlight gently reaches the snowy peaks, turning them into glowing crowns of light. Fazza wakes early, not because of noise or obligation, but because his heart feels peaceful in a way that is rare and precious. The silence of the mountains carries a special kind of comfort. It is the kind of silence that allows thoughts to flow freely and emotions to be understood clearly. He walks quietly toward the window of their wooden chalet. Outside, the snow-covered world stretches endlessly, pure and untouched. The mountains stand proudly against the brightening sky, and the fresh morning air feels almost sacred. Behind him, the woman he loves slowly opens her eyes. When she smiles at him, the sunrise suddenly feels brighter. For Fazza, this is the kind of moment that cannot be bought, rushed, or planned perfectly. It is simply a gift of life. A small moment that quietly reminds him how meaningful love can be when two people share the same peace. They step outside together, wrapped in warm coats as the cold mountain air greets them gently. The snow beneath their feet crunches softly with every step. The village around them is slowly waking up. Small wooden houses release thin lines of smoke from their chimneys. The distant sound of bells from grazing cows echoes across the valley. Everything feels calm, simple, and beautifully real. This peaceful morning becomes the beginning of another small adventure. They travel toward a town that feels like it belongs inside a dream. Zermatt. The journey there passes through valleys surrounded by tall mountains that seem to stretch endlessly into the sky. Every turn of the road reveals another breathtaking view. But Fazza does not rush to capture these views with cameras or phones. Instead, he chooses something more meaningful. He holds her hand and allows the moment to exist naturally. For him, memories captured by the heart are far more powerful than pictures saved on screens. When they arrive in Zermatt, the town welcomes them with quiet charm. Wooden houses decorated with flowers line the streets. The famous mountain above the town stands proudly, watching over the valley like a timeless guardian. Snow rests peacefully on rooftops and trees. The entire town feels like a living painting. They walk slowly through the narrow streets, surrounded by warmth and beauty. Every small cafe, every shop window, every snowy path feels like part of a story that nature itself has written. Fazza watches her as she admires the peaceful surroundings. Her laughter fills the air again, light and joyful. And in that moment he realizes something very simple but very powerful. Happiness often hides in the smallest experiences. Not in luxury. Not in status. But in the simple act of sharing life with someone who truly understands your heart. Later that afternoon, they ride a cable car high into the mountains. As it rises above the valley, the world below becomes smaller and quieter. The view from above is breathtaking. Endless white peaks stretch across the horizon like frozen waves of time. Clouds drift slowly between the mountains. And the sky above feels endless. Standing there beside her, Fazza feels something deeper than excitement. He feels gratitude. Gratitude for the journey of life that has brought him to this exact moment. Gratitude for the love that has found its way into his heart. And gratitude for the woman standing beside him, sharing this beautiful silence. For a long time they say nothing. Sometimes silence speaks more truth than words ever could. As the sun slowly begins to set again, they return to the warmth of the village below. The lights of Zermatt begin to glow softly as evening arrives. Restaurants and cafes fill with warm light and gentle conversation. Inside one small restaurant, candles flicker quietly on the tables. They sit together near a window, watching snow fall slowly outside. The atmosphere is calm and intimate. There is no rush. No distraction. Just two hearts sharing time. Fazza looks at her and speaks softly. Life moves fast in the world outside, he says. But moments like this remind me what truly matters. She listens quietly. Because she understands. They talk about dreams. About the future. About the life they hope to build together. But their conversation is not filled with grand promises or unrealistic fantasies. Instead, it carries honesty. Because real love is not perfect. It faces challenges. It faces disagreements. It faces moments when emotions become difficult to understand. And Fazza knows this truth very well. Love is beautiful, but it also requires patience. Sometimes two people who care deeply for each other can still find themselves standing on opposite sides of a misunderstanding. Pride can create silence. Ego can build invisible walls. And suddenly two hearts that once felt close begin to feel distant. Fazza reflects on this quietly. He understands that arguments are natural in every relationship. No two people think exactly the same. Differences will always exist. But emotional distance can be more dangerous than anger. Because anger eventually fades. But silence can slowly damage connection. He believes something important. Winning an argument means nothing if it causes emotional loss. True strength in love does not appear through control or dominance. True strength appears when someone chooses understanding. When someone chooses kindness. And when someone finds the courage to apologize first. He knows that sometimes pride makes people wait for the other person to speak first. Two hearts remain silent. Both waiting. Both hurting. But neither reaching out. In those moments, love becomes fragile. Yet Fazza believes healing is always possible. Sometimes it takes only a small action. A simple phone call. A quiet apology. A sincere effort to understand. These small gestures can break the strongest walls built by ego. As the evening continues, he shares these thoughts gently with her. Not as a lesson. Not as advice. but as a reflection from his own heart. Because love grows stronger when two people accept responsibility for their actions. Instead of blaming each other, they learn to look within themselves. They begin to understand how their words, and even their silence, affect the person they love. And when one person finally reaches out with honesty, something beautiful happens. Distance begins to disappear. Misunderstandings lose their power. Warmth returns again. Forgiveness becomes the bridge that reconnects two hearts. For Fazza, this understanding is part of true maturity. Leadership in the public world may bring respect and success. But real strength is shown inside relationships. Inside the quiet moments where patience, humility, and compassion matter more than power. As the candlelight dinner slowly comes to an end, snow continues falling gently outside the window. The world feels peaceful again. And in that peaceful moment, Fazza realizes something very clear. Love is not proven through perfect days. It is proven through the willingness to protect the relationship even when life becomes difficult. Because love is not just a beautiful journey. It is a lifelong promise to walk side by side, even when the road becomes uncertain. And their journey is still continuing.